Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another night of esports here on the U Waterloo Esports Twitch. Hello to everyone watching. Today we have UW Valorant Gold going against Pennsylvania State University. You may notice something different today. My name is Blobfish, but actually we've just gotten word that Bowser is currently lost in the jungles of Cambodia. He is currently MIA. We are unable to find him, so we have brought in Flarfels to cover for him today. Flarfels, how's it going?
I'm great, Blobfish. Last we heard from Bowser, he said he needed a trip to find himself, and right now he can't find anyone, I'll be quite honest. So as we get into that, we are excited for a great series of Valorant today. We have University of Waterloo up against Penn State. It's going to be quite a match, and while Waterloo is down one right now, Penn State is up one in the CF1's league right now. We hope that a lot of action, and Waterloo is hoping to tie up that score.
Yeah, so Waterloo did unfortunately have a bit of a rough week last week. They played a really close match, but last week's victory did go over to their opponents, FIU. So this week they're looking to bring it back with another strong win, whereas Pennsylvania State is looking to continue their win. They took their win last week, so they're looking to continue that score today. But it does look like we're going to be heading into game one pretty soon. So glad you all could make it. Unfortunately, Bowser could not, but don't worry. Hopefully he'll be back soon. But with that, we are going to hop right into it. Our first map is going to be Haven. Wow. Flarfels, what do you think of Haven?
Well, quite honestly, Haven was the only map when Valorant was released that I actually enjoyed. I found that there's quite a nice balance between attacker and defender sided playstyles. And with the 3 points to capture, there's a lot of avenues that you can push towards, a lot of different ways you can play around the map. So I'm quite a fan of this first pick.
Yeah, and you know, Valorant Gold, U Waterloo Valorant Gold has some good games on Haven in the past couple of weeks of play. Yeah. So going to see how well they're going to be able to tackle these three sites as they are on the attack in this first half. And we do see some pretty normal agent selects for both sides. Looks like we're going to get double duelist on the side of Penn State University, whereas actually nope, we're going to get that for both teams. So both teams running double duelist, but it looks like Trickster is actually going to go for hovers the Raze, but eventually locks in the Jet, and basically we are going to get mirror matchups across the board. So pretty excited for this. I cannot wait to hop into this game.
Yeah, and I guess neither side is really wanting to show their hand right now, whether or not they prefer an attack-heavy style, get a bunch of points right in the early game, or go for a defender early and just try and turtle your way through the attack phase. Both sides with the mirror matchup, neither is necessarily, not that they're not confident, but neither are showing any disrespect towards the other opponents here. So as we get into game right now, we do see both sides just fanning out. And what do we think so far of these, just these starts right here?
Well, I definitely think, as always, pistol round is so important for momentum, and we know that UW Valorant really likes to get the ball rolling early. We've seen a lot of the times that when they get those early advantages, they're really able to translate it into consistent rounds. So gonna see, especially on the attack here, where you have so many options, it's gonna be interesting to see how they run at it and get this stuff going. But as we open up this round, we are going to see that Recon's are open up mid, and now already keep pushing up aggressively. It looks like they're just going to get the sight down and look to play on it post. No, they are going to back off because they instantly hear the rotations, because it looks like Penn State instantly moves to rotate all members to B. So now it looks like they're just going to attack C. And now that they've got that Astra Nebula smoke there, they're just going to be able to plant the spike. And good, smart rotation from Waterloo to get the spike down. And now it's going to be the 5-on-5 routine.
Yeah, I really like what they did here. Waterloo, they know they didn't have to rush right into B. Once they heard that everyone was going to be able to rotate here, they went right over to C, and now they have full control over the site, and it's all up to the retake here from Penn State. One already over from Vex, but Nkia takes one back. It's going to be pretty close here. Not Nugs gets a collateral here, and neither side is really even. It's 2 versus 3 right now, but Chinese Shrug is getting back-to-back kills here, 1 versus 2 here.
It's a 2-on-1. Trickster peeks into Shrug and Light and gets taken down, and that is first round over to UW Valorant Gold. A good start for them. Good, strong rotation, as we said. And now they're going to look to transfer that over with a buy round. Now they're going to look to go for those Spectres and that full shield. So let's hope that they get to continue this push. It's going to be a very critical round here. And I mean, normally when you take the first round, it's pretty common for you to take the second as well. You have that gun advantage. And then most often or not, the other team will look to take it back in the third round when they have enough to look for that purchase, when they look for that rifle purchase. So gonna see how plays out here, but Waterloo is looking pretty strong going to the second round.
Yeah, of course, you do have the gun advantage, and now you don't really have to force anything too much. You know you're going to have the advantage in terms of just pushing power in the second round right now. So we do see a more slow standard, looks like a 2-2-1 type of start, and we see Vex pushing pretty slowly here. No action too much right now, but we do hear some cover fire just in the early parts of this. Smoke goes down on Nkia, and it's going to be close to dash away, gets the shot. There's not enough to kill. Chinese Shrug gets one back, and Nkia goes to pick here. It's over to Prim, 3 versus 4.
Here.
Right, Trickster under the smoke here. Looks like it's going to be a push onto C. The rotation's coming out from Penn State. It's going to be a wraparound. Once again, Waterloo has side advantage. The shot dart nails it.
Good dart. Good crossfire from the side of Waterloo. They are playing this post plant very well. Spikes down on A, and now it's all up to Notnug to figure out what to do here. Shorty has a check. Oh, the corners, but it's a 3K for Vex, and that is a big round win again for the side of Waterloo.
And it's exactly as you mentioned. It's just when you have that advantage, that power, it's going to be so much easier to be able to brute force your way into that point. Now with both sides, they have a bit more money in the wallet. So we do see a full assault rifle looking like Vandal or Guardian buy or Phantom buy here from the side of Penn State. They want to be able to hold these rounds down and be able to take some of that momentum back here.
Yeah, for sure. And, now it's really important that Penn State kind of takes back this round because, they've saved for 2 rounds. They have the rifles. So, gonna see what they're gonna be able to do here. But crucially, Prim opens it up first onto Coleslaw, who is caught on the lurk, I do believe. And that means that they're just gonna push onto site. And Kip actually takes down Nkia with the Sheriff. And again, another man advantage, this time 5-on-3 for the post plant for U Waterloo. And now, what more can they find here? Not much, but they don't need to because they can just hold these tight angles. play for good crosses. Trickster goes for a peek there, not able to find much. Has to back off because of the shock dart. And man, if you're in Penn State, you are feeling a little rough right now. Trickster opens it up, but drops and gets dropped. That is another round 3 now. You Waterloo.
Yeah, Waterloo are making these post plants look easy right now. They just know exactly what they want to do. They're going to be able to push in with that power. They had, I believe, a 5 start onto A, so they were just able to take a quick work of Penn State right there. And then on those post plants, they're just so secure in their positioning. They only lost 1 in that last round towards the end, and even then they were able to pick it right back up to secure that win.
And now University of Waterloo rolling with a huge advantage here. Not only do they have the gun advantage, they've got the full rifle round buy. It also looks like that they've got, you know, Killjoy, they've got the lockdown, and they've got the Empress available. Coleslaw not hitting the Marshall shot. Again, Vex pushing up early to find an angle onto Floppy from short.
That might be a little ambitious there, buddy. I like what Waterloo did. They were able to push up, maybe go for a bit of a fake, and then bait some of these rotations here so that Waterloo could get a nice chunk down, securing potentially later fights in this round here. But our Marshals on site, 5 health.
Oh, why are you not scoping? Coleslaw not scoping up with the sniper rifle and pays the price for it. And a bit of a sloppy play right now. No one checks for Trickster though. Finds 1, can't find 2. Nebula Smoke consistently blocking out this CT side there for the side of Waterloo to prevent any sort of push through that. But right now, Waterloo's just kind of rolling over Penn State without even much utility at all. They just seem to be winning these good gunfights. Shrug uses the turret to catch an easy angle onto Notnug. And now it is all up to Nkia, who is by their lonesome around this garage side.
Yeah, even if you just have a sheriff right now, you may be wanting to save. Those are some intimidating 4 members. And yeah, there it goes. Kip does secure that final point there. And what happened with Penn State, they had the Marshals and those close distance pistols ready, and they just, I feel, overplayed their hand a bit. Much with the Marshal was what killed Coleslaw in that, and that was what enabled the push right down to C. And again, Waterloo completely flawless on these post plants. They're just making it look so dominant right now, 4-0 up right now. And of course, both sides are going for the full assault rifle rounds. Personally, one of my favorite types. You just love to see full action.
Oh, for sure. And now that, you know, the guns are even for the first time this round, now more than ever, this is the opportunity for Penn State to take it back. The early recon dart for Light. It's tagged out though, but Vex again finds the opening kill. Coleslaw, but Nkia, oh, hits 1 shot, can't hit 2, but puts down the lockdown. Is Chinese Shrug, and they can't be broken, so that means Nkia goes down without, you know, finding any value there. PSU Floppy tries to find the angle, but right now they just look so uncoordinated, and oh, Vex going absolutely crazy. Finds 4. Could it be ace? Could be the ace here. Oh! Shut down, but Kip's got your back, Vex. No worries there. Another round, and like you said, Flarful's dominant play from Waterloo right now. And again, based purely off the gunshots here. Like Zach, they are basically just peeking, ego peeking again, re-peeking, and just pushing, trading well for each other. And that's all they really need, because right now, because PSU has also opted in for this double duelist comp, when you have 3 sites like that, it's up to Notnug and Floppy to kind of be able to lock them down. But because the rotations are so clean from Waterloo, basically Floppy and Notnug aren't able to find any value from the abilities right now. And, you know, because they're so behind, I mean, look at the map. Floppy doesn't even have anything on the map right now. He's just pushing up aggressively on A, maybe for the flank. And now, again, that's all members of Waterloo on C. Well, they don't have a spark, but they are going to find it. Chinese Shrug's going to find Floppy on the flank. Grim's taking down Trickster, and now it's the 5-2
Exactly. I feel the problem with Penn State right now, they have one person able to counter the peaks, but at best they're only going 1 for 1, and then they still get, Waterloo still gets the push onto the point. Like in 2 rounds ago, we saw Nkia have the tragic 3 versus 1 situation. They were able to go 1 for 1, but in that point, it was still a 3v4. This time, it was all up to Coleslaw to remain in that point, but they fell right at the beginning, and then Waterloo had the push immediately afterwards. So I don't know. It's just, it feels like Penn State are not willing to put enough resources into stopping these easy pushes from Waterloo, and they're paying the price. 6-0 now for Waterloo.
Yeah, and I definitely think if Pennsylvania State wants to get, you know, a foot back into this game, they need to play a little slower, you know, be a little more coordinated and just not be as, I mean, look at this. They only spotted one person on A, and now there's no one on C. They've given up everything already so quick on the rotation. And I mean, yeah, Coleslaw has doubled back to make sure that nothing's happening there, but they move so quickly on the rotation, but they have no utility to back up these very aggressive rotations on the rest of the site. And because they're not winning these gunfights either, what do they have to support them when the rotations are too quick and now they're at a man disadvantage? They don't have much at all. So I definitely think PSU needs some more utility usage here to really make this work, as the Cosmic Divide comes down for Prim, that blocks off raw sightlines. Not finds a good pick on A, but that is again Spike going down, and another post plant retake is going to be on the table for Penn State.
All right, this is the first time that there's been a plant where it's even right in the match here. So it's going to be even firepower, but it's going to ultimately come down to execution. Will Penn State have enough points? Obviously, as I say that, Caster Cursing, 2 members of Penn State fall, and it's now a 2v4. There's no firepower here.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this play from Warren. They leer it out, they double peek, oh, but Not finds 3, but it doesn't matter. Kip is there with the angle, and I mean, Waterloo is just playing very on point right now. You know, they're understanding that PSU is just super reactive to these rotations, maybe a bit too reactive. So then they play it slow, they bait out peaks, they find kills on the flank, and, you know, again, on those peaks that PSU was basically just giving them, and then they make the quick rotate, they get onto site, and they just play strong, smart post-plant, you know, positions. And after that, I mean, as long as you're not eagle peeking and giving away free kills and you're covering all the bases, it's very hard to lose these rounds right now, unless Penn State decides to switch something up here, which I think they'll need to do soon, because we're 0-7.
Yeah, this is a drastic state in the game. At this point, you might, if this was a solo queue game, you're looking towards the best of 3 already. Kick goes down to the smoke, but it's going to be falling. Could this be what Penn State need?
Yeah, Vex takes down 2 though, and that was a good attempt from Waterloo. You saw the gravity well in the backup site on C to kind of clear any defenders while Kip dashes on the site. But unfortunately, in that scenario there, PSU was playing some very forward positions on C site, so they ultimately did get the jump on Kip, because while Kip is tailwinding in, he can't really check those corners. Now the lockdown does come out for the side of PSU, but little do they know that Light is chilling on the back side because it doesn't reach all the way there, and then Kia can't connect the shots. Oh, you have to hit those, because now...
Yeah, and at this point, Waterloo knows they have the advantage in these one-on-one gunfights. Light's just got 2 free kills there because of his little cheeky play being in the corner of the lockdown. And it's individual moments like those that are going to be so telling throughout this game, throughout this series even. It's just like the tiny little individual differences are what's going to make these post plants going to be so impactful. You can play the macro better, but if you can't hit a bullet, that's not going to win you games.
For sure, and you know, Penn State U now looking real dire. Not sure what the game plan is for them. Maybe they're just looking to try to take it back in the second half, because Waterloo is looking like an unstoppable force, a rolling thunder, crushing. Oh, not with the Sheriff, not enough to stop the aggression of Waterloo. Kip dashes onto site. Floppy gets taken down by a flank from Light. Trickster has no bullets left, has to go for the class. He actually finds Kip though, picks up a gun for himself. But on the back of that, he is the last member left, and he's getting pincered on all sides. That's all they need. Another round on the board for Waterloo. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, utter domination from the Warriors in gold. It's just a matter of these retakes being somewhat sloppy. There's no firepower walking in one by one. You're letting yourself fall without having any impact. Sure, you get 1 kill back onto Waterloo, but after 9 rounds of complete oppression here, those kills are not going to be mattering in the long run. We do see another full assault rifle buy, aside from 1 operator. We love to see it. But again, Waterloo are just able to full rush A here, it looks like. But they don't even have to. They could just rotate B if things get too dicey. They can go anywhere on the map because they feel they have that confidence, that control throughout all of these rounds. And here it comes again.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of that, we saw earlier in this map, Waterloo was testing the waters a little bit. They played a little slower. They started off with strong utility. They started off with a recon dart, maybe take a couple peeks in short or long at C and A, push out mid, see what they could find. But now that they realize that they can just kind of push site and confidently take these fights against PSU, they're just pushing site. Like, they're just running as 5, taking down defenders. They don't care if they get traded out, because they know that their post plant is just so much stronger than PSU's retake right now. I mean, look at this. Coleslaw has to check every angle. A good smoke from Prim, to block out any sight lines. Trickster, though, the last one with an op. But again, if you're Waterloo right now, you're not peeking into the op.
You don't have to do anything.
Exactly. You don't have to. Oh, never mind. Shrug has his own ideas and pays for his hubris, but Trickster's just going to look to save the op there, and I mean, that's the smart decision. When you are down 0-10 now, you know, you're going to head into the second half of 2 rounds. You want to keep this op to try and maybe secure whatever lead you can to go into the second half. Like, you want to, if you're PSU right now, your goal is at least 210, you know, in this second half.
Yeah, if you're PSU, you have to be looking towards the second half of the match, even the second game throughout this series. It is complete. So we do have word from broadcast quickly in between games here. Bowser, his whereabouts are still unknown, but proclaims we have a messenger pigeon came into our studio that has a scroll attached. It does read that he believes Cambodia is a beautiful country. Notably, it's not in his handwriting, so we'll figure out what that means, whether or not he was able to write that. But once again, back into the action. Waterloo is pushing right up to A here.
Yeah.
It's kind of true.
Yeah, we hope Bowser's safe. You know, he says Cambodia's a beautiful country. I'll take his word for it. I've never been there personally, but, you know, Bowser, if you're out there right now, not sure if you can watch this stream in Cambodia, but hope you're having a fun time. You know who's not having a fun time? PSU, because Waterloo is just taking sight again and again and again, and now once more, like clockwork, they have, you know, the hold of the A site. Coleslaw will try to say something about it with the Hunter. Sure, you're not going to find anything. Trickster, oh, Bex, that's a rough one, but here comes the spray. Trickster pushing out, gets taken down. Now it's all up to Not Nug and Pulse. Oh, Not Nug. No, you have to be a little faster than that. You're not tracing the angle of Prim. You are trying to take Prim down.
I'm sorry, Coleslaw.
Run and gun.
You are not the hunter today. 0-11 for PSU right now. It's the last round, and what can PSU even do to come back right now? I don't foresee any change in strategy. We've seen it all, whether it's a slow retake, a full-on just retake with 5 people. It doesn't work throughout all of these rounds. And even in the defender side, we've seen that the one-on-one gun matchups, the skill differences, Waterloo is continually winning out on them, and it is complete domination once again.
Oh man, and last week we were casting the CF1. Waterloo played a very intense, longer game here, and you know, when I said I was gonna miss my bus, that didn't mean that I wanted these games to get a little shorter. But unfortunately, it does look like the Waterloo is just, I mean, we've said it time and time again in these rounds, they are just looking unstoppable right now. You know, they get one taken down, and that doesn't stop their momentum at all. They take the trades, they roll with it, they roll with the punches, and they punch back harder and stronger than PSU can, because now the lockdown's been committed, so is the plant. They still have the Hunter's Fury to work with for that pose plant. I mean, look at this utility usage. They're just not letting PSU take an inch of ground, and when they try to, they get called down like Floppy right there.
And it's exactly that. It was just Floppy pushing in by themselves, and then the other 2 members of PSU too slow to the follow, or could have been Floppy pushing up too quickly. It's hard to tell. But right now, we're on match point, and we just switched over.
Oh man, and if you're PSU, you're in such a rough position here. That's 13 rounds that you have to win in a row.
Yeah.
In a row. Right? And we've seen Waterloo do it, but we've seen Waterloo win 12 rounds in a row, but that's because they got the first round, they pulled the momentum well, and they just played, honestly, smarter than PSU did, right? You know, and once they realized what the key weaknesses of PSU were, you know, if you're PSU, you kind of feels like you just have to 5-stack A, you know, because you know they're going to push A, so you kind of just have to sit 5 members on there, otherwise you're going to get rolled over. So if you're PSU right now, you know, you don't want to, it's a best of 3, right? I mean, if you lose this game, there's still 2 maps you can come back on. Maybe this is not, you know, PSU's preferred pick, this is not their map that they really wanted, but, you know, it's not the end of the world here, but Waterloo is looking poised to take this first map. And Kia does open it up with Pick trying to contest what is looking like a very dire scenario, but they actually take down 2. And it's all up to Prim and Chinese Shrug. Shrug is on the flank, so it's going to be Prim trying to hold this site for now. Good catch, and Kia looking the wrong way. And Kia actually doesn't know where Prim's shooting him from, but now he will. Prim's out of bullets, and now it's all up to Shrug. Finds one, and still the 4-on-1 retake, though.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough for Chinese Shrug. I'm sure he would have wanted to get right back into his post-match right away, but PSU is gonna make them work for it. They are on the board. 12 more to go, Blobfish.
Oh, and I mean, you know what? I'm gonna throw it out there. I believe.
Are you a believer?
I'm not the caster curse. You know, I'm usually the one That just speaks it like it is, you know? And since you already shown that you're the caster cursor tonight with that earlier call out where that led in 2 people going down, I believe that I will be the other voice, you know? I will be the yin to your yang, and I will say that, you know what? PSU's got this, you know? Like I said, if you win the first round, you've got at least 1 round in the bank. Most likely, you are going to take the second round. You have the gun advantage. Third round is going to be the dicey one, because of course that's where Waterloo is going to save up for to buy those rifles to try and take it back. And here's the thing, if they take it back, they win. Right?
Yeah.
So if you're PSU right now, you want this. You want this first blood, right? This is a good start. So let's see how they take it from here. Oh, Vex has different ideas. Finds 1, finds 2, and wow, that instantly stifles. I mean, that completely stops PSU's push in their tracks, and now that means the rest of Waterloo can take good positions across the map because Vex has stopped this push. I mean, look at Light and Prim here. They're pushing up, they're checking B, they're checking Garage, and Pia takes down Vex. But, you know, Prim is in a good, good angle here. Exactly. Gets 1. Oh, man. It doesn't even matter that you didn't get 2. The fact that you got 1 is good enough. Okay, Trickster does find Light. But, oh, Kip, you have to be careful. Oh, no, the bookie. Oh, the bookie. Oh,
1v1, 1v1.
Oh, it's the Astro, and Astro does not know where Prim is. Oh, they spot each other. Oh, Nug takes it. See, I'm not the caster curse. They take another round.
All right, you've proclaimed it here. Wow, I was gonna say that you had the mental. If you're PSU after taking that first round, all you have to do is type in chat, attacker sided, not fair, right? You're fine, you're feeling fine, and then Vex all of a sudden gets that crazy 2-person collateral and your mental is gone. But PSU push through it, they play the map smart, they can get those tiny picks, and in the end the 1v1 all comes down to a game of inches. The PSU are crawling their way back, and they once again are looking to pick up another round.
I was just the point. I thought Kip was like a little bit because I thought he was on a share. He was dashing straight in, and then he took BSU down with a buggy, and I went, I see the play now.
But it looks like Waterloo's actually getting a little cocky here. I mean, you see this? They're pushing out of Garage, you know, when they're on the defender's side, and they know at least 2 members are out there, so they're kind of just peeking into their death here. So, gonna see if Waterloo, if this cockiness kind of costs them. Again, they still have plenty of pad. Not to say that they're in a dire straits at all. They are not. They are happily coasting on these Azure Seas that is their 10-round lead. But, okay, well, that just happened. And, if you guys heard that on cast, that is our producer giving a bit of a chuckle there at what we just witnessed. That is Kip picking up a rifle for himself. But 3-on-1 retake. And no longer. That's 3 rounds over to PSU.
I was literally just about to ask, do we have any Kip believers in the chat? And he gets shot in the head. Unfortunate here for the side of Waterloo Gold. At this point, you're down 3 rounds in a row. You've got to be a little cautious. You can't have too much mental fortitude be built back from the side of PSU. Obviously, you're still feeling confident that you need 1 round. You just need 1 well-placed timing and well-placed push back to get this game here. Yeah. But obviously, PSU's mental fortitude, their strength, they know they can win these fights out against Waterloo. And while Waterloo may be cocky, it's still a matter of, hey, the fact that we're winning it all is pretty good.
And what is this? Waterloo won 12 rounds in a row on attack. Who's to say that PSU can't do that too? Right?
Exactly.
So the fact that Waterloo is not really respecting PSU right now by pushing, by ego peeking, dry peeking, not using their utility as much, just kind of dashing and looking for kills, it could cost them. And I mean, look at this. Waterloo is changing up now. Look how smart they're playing. They're playing close angles. They're holding sights. They're not peeking at all. They're letting PSU, because they know that PSU has to plant the spike, to push up here. And now Not is going to peek in. Finds Chinese Shrug. But remember, that's Kip that already took down 2 with the op. So I like this. Waterloo has decided that they just want this map now. They are no longer, okay, maybe
You're cursing it.
I'm sorry. But I mean, it's still a bit better than what we've seen before.
What you mean?
This attacks, or this defense side.
Waterloo stopped playing with their food. They're actually giving some more respect back to PSU.
Facts.
To start, but here we go.
Oh, the patience. Oh, the patience. Oh, is it gonna cost him? Oh my goodness. Oh, and Vex was just a little faster there. Could have denied the spam. The spike plants. I'm trying. Find 1. Can you find 2? Not takes down Prim, but can you find the next? No. Let's first map over to Waterloo.
Yeah, PSU had a good attacker run there, but ultimately Waterloo's patience, Vex not willing to pull the trigger. They were able to hold out and claim that first game in a dominant fashion. So, Blobfish, how are we feeling after that first wild match?
I mean, man, oh man, Waterloo they've got to be pretty happy right now. I mean, I think you can say that, like, yeah, there were plenty of mistakes on the side of PSU there, but, you know, Waterloo just looked dominant. They had the shots, you know, they had, you know, the mind to play the good post plant. And when it came down to, like, to them saying, okay, you know, I'm pretty sure if I was in comms right now, I would hear Kip saying, hey guys, you know, we're kind of trolling right now. You know, we've given away 3 rounds and at least 2 of those we could have won. So I think, you know, in that 4th round, they were just kind of like, okay, let's take this, guys. And they did. And I think that speaks a lot about the kind of mental and, you know, like, gameplay advantage that Waterloo had that entire game. Like, they basically just, the fact that they could just say, hey guys, it's time for this game to end.
The troll switch is off.
Exactly. That speaks to, you know, the kind of, you know, the kind of mountain that PSU is facing right now. Now, again, Haven, you know, it's a bit of an odd map. There's 3 sites. So we're going to see how PSU fares in some of these more conventional sites. But before we do that, we are going to head into a quick break here, and we'll be back after it to catch game 2 between PSU and Waterloo. Stick around. We'll be back real soon.
Down B. 1 enemy.
Let's go!
One enemy remaining.
All right, and welcome back, everyone. Hope you guys had a good, quick little break there. I know that Jack and I did here. We are heading into game 2 between PSU and Waterloo. It is going to be Ascent, but before we do that, actually, I'm just getting in word that Bowser has been found, and actually, he's not in Cambodia. He's actually currently stuck in line at Marble Slab Creamery. Can you imagine that? So it does look like he still will not be here for a while.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in weeks, and I hear they don't have any new shipments of Rocky Road. It's his favorite flavor, and of course he just wants to be there, but he can't be here with us tonight. Game 2 of our fantastic series we've had so far, Waterloo with a dominant performance, and we are moving on to Ascent, and I believe we have...
Light, don't do this to me. Light, you know how much I want to see it. Light, it's now or never. Light, no. Please.
Waterloo on defenders. Light once again baits Blobfish out of
Brimstone. Brimstone coming out from Shrug. But yeah, I mean, Ascent. Usually, Waterloo has historically played pretty well on Ascent, and usually they can actually kind of pull out some of these otter picks. We have seen Kip play a lot of KO on Ascent actually, but it looks like. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, he's playing Jet now.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, so as I was about to say, it does look like the Kip has locked in Jet, and I've talked about this before with the Waterloo squad. Some days they go for a single duelist utility comp, and other days, other matches sometimes they'll go for the double duelist, and so today it looks like double duelist it is. Kip is going to stick with that Jet. As we saw in the first map as well. So Vex on the Reyna, and again, a pretty standard comp for at least Waterloo. These are probably their most common agents off of every single one. On the side of PSU, it does look like we're not going to see the Jet. Hopefully we'll see the Raze. I do like when the Raze gets pulled out in mirror double duelist situations, just because I think, and we've seen it before, Raze can bring a lot more utility when it comes to like the slower, style of gameplay. Whereas for Jet, she kind of, when teams are kind of turtling on site and just kind of playing close angles, looking to trade, and not looking to give up site for the retake, Jet has a much harder time getting on site because she doesn't really have that utility clear space. Like, she can tailwind in, but the period after which she dashes, where she needs to like pick up her gun to be able to shoot again, does leave her vulnerable. Whereas Raze can go in with those paint shells and command space with that showstopper. So I think a key thing to watch here this game, Flarfools, will definitely be the Raze versus Jet matchup, and to see who finds more value.
Yeah, and I appreciate you mentioned that. I just want to also point out that PSU has favored that, I guess, slower style. Most often, it's been to their detriment throughout this series, as Waterloo has been so quick to pull the trigger, but then PSU right off the bat has been slower to the retake, and often it's not been favorable to their style. So hopefully with the Raze, they're able to solidify this plays making style that they want to go for here.
Yeah, and now PSU is on the attack this time first, so Waterloo might not have the chance to kind of just, roll with the aggression on attack. They're going to have to play the defense first in this first half. So going to see how well they hold off. It is only 2 sites this time, so going to see if it makes a difference here. We do see that there's most members of PSU gathered around this A site, and they are going to open it up with a pick actually onto Vex here, who I do believe was pushed out that C side. They do get taken down, and actually it's Floppy who will find Light because he's pushed all the way up mid. No one was watching that mid area, so that means Floppy just gets to get a huge flank, and now he's basically on Heaven, and it does look like that full side control is going to go over to PSU.
Yeah, from just right off the bat, we can say that PSU is definitely a fan of attacking. Their defensive play that we've seen has not been very coordinated. It's not been very situated, or I don't know. There's just nothing systematic about it. But when they're on attack, it seems like everything is clicking right now. 2 versus 4. Can Waterloo be able to pull this out, or are they going to opt to save? It is just a pistol round, but I don't know. It's tough in these situations.
And I think part of the reason why this round is going so far in PSU's game right now is just because, you know, they take the first round, but I think it's just because Waterloo posted 2 members on B main to push out aggressively, and that meant that they left mid vulnerable. So what that meant was that Floppy got to push all the way up mid, and eventually got to catch Light on the rotate, and because Vex was taken out earlier in that skirmish in the beginning of the round, that meant that PSU basically had a 5-on-3 man advantage by the time the spike went down, and you know, that's kind of hard to come back from, especially on a pistol round, where everything is so even, and it kind of just comes down after all the utility is used, just to gunplay. And ultimately, when your member's down, it's a lot harder to come back in those pistol rounds.
Yeah, it's just a matter of PSU had every single angle there, even though they did trade 1-for-1 in the end. It was going over to PSU. They're looking now for a bit of a B-sided push. But again, they don't really have to force anything too drastic. The guns obviously do favor PSU winning out in that first round. Pistols versus Spectres. You're going to take Spectres a lot more of the time here.
Yeah, Prim closes that door, which does reveal his rotation. Doesn't get punished for it though, and it's Chinese Shrug with the peak actually, with the swing there, but the Spectres call all the members of Waterloo down on this B side. And now it's all down to Lonely Kip, all the way from A side Gardens. Long range Spectre, not usually seen very often, but it does the job there. And that means that's the second round over. And now it's third round. Waterloo's gonna have those rifles, so gonna see if they're gonna be able to pick it back up here. But that is PSU starting with a good lead in map 2.
Yeah, I guess every map is just attacker-sided right off the bat. We've seen these nice coordinated full stack pushes over towards A site and then B site, and Waterloo has just been too slow on the push, and then for excellent gunplay from the side of PSU is what solidifies their victory right here. We do see a 1-4 style push over towards, actually they're going for a 1-3 through mid. I like what they're doing here because Waterloo has completely split. If PSU can get this push down the middle here, they'll be sandwiching on both sides. I don't think anyone's here to stop it.
Oh, and yeah, again, I think, you know, the second round, honestly, it's a given that, you know, as long as PSU, like, plays to their numbers and you know, finds good rotations, they should be able to take that first round. Actually, Light gets taken out by a dirty little jiggle there. But, you know, right now, their mid control is not very strong. PSU's not taking full advantage of it yet. They are creeping up slowly. Ooh, but I think right now, Waterloo's doing a lot of the mistakes that PSU was doing in game 1. They're on the defense, but they're pushing up really quickly, but then they're not finding the peak, so they're kind of just throwing members at one another. And right now, the only thing kind of holding PSU at bay is their own apprehension of attacking. Like they're playing this really slow just because I think they're a little nervous still. They're not really used to kind of just like taking the rounds perhaps as quickly as they have been. So they're playing it super safe. They know that they're mapped down, so they're checking all the angles. They're making sure that their pushes are slow, they're coordinated, they're good. They're checking everything. You know, we saw that mid push took a little bit of time, but ultimately it's rewarded because A, Waterloo doesn't have the proper defense there, and B, you know, the flanks around does give them an opportunity to again have man advantages and good post buy positions.
Yeah, and oh man, it's just Waterloo, they're sort of doing exactly as you say. They're not allowing themselves to keep with that patient playstyle. Let PSU come into them and get those advantages. Sure, you can go 2 for 1 in a kill, and like a kill's a kill for sure, but you only have 5 people to play with, and there's only so many bodies you can throw at the PSU squad here before you're just going to run out of firepower. Well, again, we saw that Chinese Shrug was left all by their lonesome, and now these guns are looking a little worse for wear for the side of Waterloo. Complete share 5 versus, well, just anything PSU wants here. Kip does get a nice early pick though.
Oh, and Kip opens it up with a sheriff shot, but the guns, like you said, are still on the side of PSU. So gonna see what more Waterloo's gonna be able to find here. Notnug is quite tagged low, but so is Vex. So Saw does find another pick on Shrug, though. Again, the gun advantage not going their way. Gets found out on logs. Like, one of the logs goes down. So, what more is PSU going to look for here? They're going to take the orb away from this B-man, and that does give Floppy the lockdown. So, it looks like they're just going to commit for this B-side execute. But look at Vex's position here. The patience. Not sure if he actually sees Enkia right now. No, he doesn't. Has spotted him now, but it doesn't matter. Enkia has the shot there. Floppy gonna push on the site with his lockdown, but Light is waiting. Oh! Light finds 1. Light finds 2. Gets detained, but I don't think it matters right now because the numbers advantage is there. Takes down Light, but gets taken down in return, and now it's all up to Enkia, who's pushing from this B main area, and the spike's not even down. So Waterloo's looking pretty poised right now. And Kia does have the spike though, so could actually no, can't make the rotate.
There's no time to make the rotate. It's an all or nothing play here. And Kia does actually get it onto Prim. Yet they go for the 2. Well, actually, clutches it out.
Oh, and Kip there, not able to find the headshot with the Spectre, and that means that a quick headshot in return from Enkia is all it takes for him to take that 4th round away from Waterloo. And, you know, if you're Waterloo right now, you know, not all hope is lost yet, but we may be seeing the opposite of what happened in map 1.
Yeah. It could just be a matter of momentum and mental strength. It looked like with the efforts of Light that round, even though he was detained, he was going to be able to put Waterloo on the board there. But then it came out to the efforts of Enkia, a complete 1v2 clutch. Obviously, the ultimate was available, I believe. So, yeah, that was just real tough for Waterloo right there. And it's going to take real strength to get back there. Kip doesn't nail the shot there. Ooh.
Oh, and actually gets headshot in return. So now Kip has to be very careful. Still 24 health, and that op still is a 1-shot kill in the body or in the head. But Light gonna try to hold this. Might have heard Floppy was there, but Floppy will definitely have heard Kip though. So gonna chill in this tree area for now. Vex takes him down. Kip finds Floppy as well. But now Valorant. I don't know why I keep calling Waterloo Valorant. But Waterloo is looking in a better position than they have been at all since this game began.
Yeah, and Waterloo, they're playing patient. They know they do not have to fight. They have the ultimate advantage with the Jet, with the Reyna here, and they can just bide their time. I like what Kip did. Once he was chunked out, he rotated over to Light, so even if he were to die, it would at least be a 1-for-1. Light would have the advantage in the push. Now Vex with the support, able to push onto Enkia, and now Waterloo is completely in action. Look at the movement we're seeing here. Complete rotations over to find Notnug and put themselves on the board. A nice, clean win of this round.
And I think one thing we don't talk about enough is, you know, kind of the amount of work that Prim does with those stars in the game. I mean, we saw it last week there with, you know, just the amazing coordination, you know, like Waterloo has sometimes, you know, with these combos that they can make with the gravity well combined with, you know, like a Kip dash in or sometimes Shrug dashing in on that Jet. But, you know, I think even if we don't see Prim going for like as big of those flashy plays as obviously those duelists can, you know, oftentimes, just like in that round, we saw the gravity well instantly get popped the moment that Vex caught sight of Enkia pushing a site, and that means that Vex gets a very favorable swing there to basically just guarantee that at least one member goes down for the side of PSU. So I definitely think Prim is you know, ever consistent on this Astra. Is it enough for now to kind of hold PSU at bay? Not yet, but it could get there. And honestly, if you're Valorant, if you're Waterloo, as long as you find a couple rounds in the defense, I don't think they'll be too, you know, unhappy with kind of going in the second half on a deficit, as long as it's not massive, right? As long as it's not 0-.
Well, yeah, the worst you can hope for now is 1-12. So, or 1-11,
Yeah.
if my math was feeling a little bit better today. But, you know, Waterloo, you saw with the last time, I don't mean to be biased here, but of course, such a dominant performance. Already, Waterloo was on the board, and PSU could not find those wins on attacking. I feel Waterloo just has to bide their time, wait these rounds out. Of course, it's not fun while you're Kip here all alone against 4 people sitting with the op here waiting for a peek. Oh, it doesn't find it. Goes a bit late there, but of course, yeah. We know that PSU definitely likes to attack more, and the ultimate does go there. But
Yeah, I do believe Kip like pulled out the Blade Storm to maybe try and contest here, but noticing that he has the op, not willing to give it up, especially when the economy is looking a little rough for Waterloo right now. So they're going to want to try and keep this op carried over into the next round. And again, not to, you know, not to put off, Coleslaw actually getting taken down, but it's like they're not sure if that was intentional or not for the death money. But if you're PSU right now, you are trying to prove that the first map was a fluke.
yes,
Like, you want to send a message that, hey, this was just us off on our game and maybe Haven wasn't our map. So we want to come back here. But again, I don't think Waterloo will mind if they, you know, only take even like 2 or 3 rounds off PSU heading to the second half, because they have shown that they've been way stronger on the offense today.
You better.
but it's never good to be down like 4 rounds right now, right? So I definitely think Waterloo needs to step up their game a little bit. They're looking a little rougher when they play the more aggressive style, even the running double duelist. So gonna see, like we saw last round, if they play just a slower style, wait for PSU to dictate the moves, and then play responsively, or sorry, reactively to PSU, which is kind of what we're seeing right now. You know, they're just holding solid positions, 2 on A, 1 on B, and then that is Vex and Light chilling around that mid area. Kip finds Floppy, but now here comes the showstopper. How much space can you command? None at all, because you're getting blinded by a Hunter's Fury. And all of the combos coming out for Waterloo, and Kia finds Vex mid, but Light is there for the trade, and Waterloo, gotta be careful now, PSU.
I feel like there's 2 double-edged swords within each of these teams. Waterloo, it can hurt them and help them so much how quickly they want these rounds to go by. That every single round that Waterloo is playing right here, where they're in control and dictating the game, they are clean sweeping these rounds right now. When PSU has the opportunity to play their style, go slowly, it can be so damning for Waterloo. Their trigger finger is so ready, itching to go. Just a little peek, it can't hurt. And then that's when their rounds start to crumble over. But when PSU has those slower styles dictated by the side of Waterloo, that's when their laziness to get on that trigger can be their downfall. So right here, we are seeing, once again, it's close.
And that Boomba could be deceptive because Vex is hiding by Pizza right now. Let's get spotted out, but it does look like PSU is just going to back off the mid push. And I was just going to say the Kip is finding quite a bit of value there with that op right now. And Kia actually on this big flank here, but Vex pops the Empress, finds Trickster in the mid lane. But yeah, that op actually found a lot of value. So saving that, 2 rounds ago for Kip, did find the 1 round, and it could potentially carry them into the 2nd round here as a bit of a firing squad coming out mid. That does leave the score 2-2. But again, time is not on PSU's side, and even though Kia pops the Empress here, could get caught up by Light here, and it does, and oh, that is big, because now it's all up to Notnug with 45 seconds. Does have the spike though, so I'm not cursing anything. I take no responsibility.
Yeah, we're just going to let this play out to the sound of smooth jazz. Can't let anything be influenced one way or another. I like that Waterloo has a completely safe position right here. They know that they don't have to let anything drastic happen. There's only 2 members. Of course, we've seen and Kia pull out the crazy 1v2 clutches before. Neither one of them is peeking. They both have solid angles, and they know they can be powerful on those retakes. So here we go. Plant is down.
Yeah, Waterloo's just playing offside. They know that they can just play for retake, and Notnug might just peek straight into the crosshair of Prim, and that's exactly what happens. So Waterloo understanding that they can just play back, wait for the spike to be planted, and just play by their numbers. And unfortunately for their Notnug, peek straight into Prim, who has the aim to close it out. So that is another round over to Waterloo. And, now that Waterloo is picking up the pace a little bit, they're playing a little smarter, they're playing a little safer, but, still using the utility and, I definitely think Waterloo is playing reactively, especially for when you have, I know that both teams kind of have Killjoy Astra, but especially when you're on the defense, if you don't, let the enemies kind of push through your utility, that Killjoy's never really going to find much value out of those nano swarms and those, sorry, I can't find the words right now, that alarm bot. So yeah, Waterloo on defense looking pretty, looking a little stronger right now. They've taken 2 rounds in a row, but can they keep it going? If you're PSU, no, you want to show them.
Yeah, and of course we're seeing the full mid push. It is an armada, bullets raining down right here. The mid is under fire. It is going to be towards the B side, but the rotations from Waterloo are a bit slower than you'd expect. They still don't have full information of where everyone is right now, and it could be going over to the side of PSU if they can get this push right now, but Waterloo knows now that it is time to rotate. Well, hopefully their feet are kind of planted.
Yeah, and Vex wasted so much of PSU's time there. They pushed up as 3, all the way up past market into mid. But they just kind of stared at Vex and kept shooting him. Trickster could find an angle here, but he only has a Frenzy, and Frenzy at long range is not a gun that you want to be peeking into with, because, well, something like that might happen. Now, Coleslaw finds Light in Gardens, but, that big freaking op is there, and you have to be very careful and watch out for it, because that's also Vex on the flank. That is PSU going down again, and the amount of time that they wasted mid, even though, they kind of lost the round, somewhere else, that could have been time spent pushing and pulling for more information or committing onto attack on B when you already have so much mid control. just backing off of that, it kind of seems like a bit of a waste.
Yeah, they had all guns a-blazing, full charge down to mid, and then they froze. And then Vex was able to waste so much time, get a few chunks down, and then Waterloo, on that first move, were able to hit the sitting ducks in water, win over those fights. Obviously, the Frenzy was not able to get those long-range fights, but it's just Waterloo biding their time. They played patiently, which is sort of the style we've seen PSU play, and they just didn't win.
Oh, and beautiful from Kip there to not run away from the boombot, stand his ground, knowing he has the tailwind to get away if he can find a kill, and he does. And I mean, I definitely think another thing last round is that PSU, if you don't have the information and you know, you don't have the information of what's happening on a site before you push it, if you're pushing into an op, that angle could be anywhere. And because that's a one-shot kill, that means you're walking blind into an op, and that op will always have the advantage if that player is on point. And Kip is right now, because Kip is hitting most of these shots right now. Quick little reposition there, knowing that maybe some more aggression will come out if he stays on that stairs side. So is going to back off to CT instead. And now that that Nebula smoke has gone down, could potentially look for more kills here. Hear a shot go off, don't see the connection yet. So that might give PSU the confidence to push up. Kip, not sure if he gave a wall bang there, but again, look at this time that is being wasted. Look at all of these. Like, I mean, it's like a battlefield. Look at these lines that are being drawn by Waterloo, and for some reason, PSU was just meeting them there at it, and just kind of waving across the bridge saying, hello, we're right here, except you need to be on site because you need to plant the spike.
Yeah, if you want to have some target practice, we will walk right into you one by one. And, oh boy, it's just... I wish PSU had a bit more of the aggression, a bit more. I can't exactly put my finger on it, but they missing that spark that keeps the team alive. Waterloo, they know Kip is on the off and he is hitting these shots. They can just be anywhere they need to be. And yeah, that's just, these plays are going over to the side of Waterloo from better gunplay and better patience.
For sure, and now that they've got it all tied up, I definitely think that if you're going to play a double duelist, you kind of have to play it the way the Water played on attack. You need to just aggressively push site here if you have any sort of advantage, or if you know any sort of information, you need to make split decisions fast. Because, you know, even though both teams are playing double duelist, and Kip unlucky there, actually they might actually go down to Spectres here. But if you're playing double duelist, you want to at least push aggressively so that even if you are pushing into a killjoy or Astro utility, that you only push it. Because if the enemy has the time to get the information on where you're going, or where else you could possibly be, and they've taken up so much space on the map that you are no longer watching, you know, it's very hard to take the site when you don't have someone to clear space. I mean, even though they do have the raise. So, gonna see if PSU is going to be able to take this last round here before the half. 5-7 is a decent position for the defense. I mean, Ascent is pretty evenly sided in my opinion, but I mean, I think it can swing anywhere. Mid is like often a big battleground, and you know, PK has advantage and whatnot, but I definitely think Ascent is probably one of those more kind of up to how well each side plays it. So, gonna see how Waterloo deals with this last map here. Sorry, this last round, and Kip opening it up with a big statement.
Again, they're just not respecting Kip on the op here. They surely have to know it's the last round. Kip can be anywhere, and pushing up like that without finding the chance to get the re-engage or continuing to push, it's just NT of falling for nothing. And Waterloo are up 2 kills on the board right now.
Yeah, I hear a lot of op shots right now and no connections yet, but you know, look at this utility. I know I talked about it. If you are PSU, you don't want to be pushing into an Astra and a Killjoy, because stuff like that can happen. Nano swarm shots, takedown, coleslaw. Prim is still there, and that means PSU just has to back off. Not Nug will push onto site and find Prim. It's still a 2-on-3 though, but now here comes Vex and Light, and you know, if we look at it, Light still, Shrug has the lockdown now after finding the kill onto Trickster. So now it's the 3-on-2 for Not Nug, and you have a lockdown coming at you. You've got Shock Darts, you've got Vex. Should be Vex who closes it out, and that is going to be 6-6. We're all tied up, but now it's Waterloo on attack in the second half.
Yeah, oh boy, the gloves are off. Waterloo, no restraints. We saw a 12-0 attacker run in the first game, and now they are completely in their comfort zone. I feel like Waterloo found PSU's kryptonite. Put Kip on an off, wait for those slow pushes, and pick them off one by one as they cannot decide where to go. It's just completely perfectly executed from Kip. Yes, he does fall through at the middle of the round, but by then, the advantage has snowballed so much. You have the Killjoy ultimate available to put down, and by then, that round is just kaput thanks to the early efforts of Kip here. And now, Waterloo completely in the driver's seat. It is tied 6-6, but we've all seen what they can do.
And I think part of that too is the fact that, you know, Kip, because he's so confident in the gunplay right now, PSU just basically let him re-peek on the op multiple times. And, you know, even if Kip finds that first frag, take that cooldown opportunity or that reload, you know, opportunity that you get from Kip having to, you know, reload that gun, or at least charge up a next shot to push on the site aggressively. Because if you don't, he could just keep firing into you, and you just have to keep sitting there and waiting until something happens. But no miracle will save you in Valorant. It has to be you to make that final choice. And now look at this, Valorant, Waterloo again on a 5-man post plant, and I mean, it's a tale as old as time as of now. And let's see if PSU is able to clutch it back.
Yeah, once again, it's the classic Waterloo retake, and they have so many angles down. That's what you get with 5 people remaining. Chinese Strike gets it off the end, and 2 collaterals right off the bat. It's just, what can PSU even do here? Waterloo was too quick to the trigger. A flawless round here.
Yeah, and a 5-man post plant scenario on pistol is so hard, because ultimately, like I said, it comes down to gunplay. Like, you don't have any utility to kind of clear off site to help you. I mean, we saw that Nutnug tried to put some stars, tried to grab a key location at Boathouse to maybe draw out some members, make them vulnerable to try to improve their odds. But especially on the B site post plant, where there's so many angles that you can't directly shoot through if you're kind of in cubby, or if you're way back in Boathouse that you have to push on site for. That means that Waterloo can just go long angles up the stairs and drop and just basically decimate. It doesn't help the PSU push 1 by 1, right? You're kind of walking in the firing spot. And Kia here looking to make a statement with this shorty. Here's a person holding the orb, so this could be there's 2 members with shorties.
Oh boy, if there's gonna be anything, it's just raw firepower to take down 4 people here.
Oh, it's
Nutnug! Oh, that spike going down actually though.
Waterloo doesn't have the spike because it's been taken down, but is that light on an Ares?
Okay, I mean, you've seen this before. Light will sometimes pick up the Odin or the Ares, but Waterloo in a dicey position, and he actually managed to pick up a Spectre from taking down, not sure who it was, but taking down someone with the shorty, and now it's the 2 on...
Whoa!
It's Chinese Shrug with the Odin.
Chinese Shrug cannot be stopped here! Things looked so dire. For a second, I thought PSU would be able to claim their first defender-sided round win, but no, Chinese Shrug, so powerful on that Odin. And I especially love the way they played those rotations, right? They knew once they pushed into A, okay, there's not going to be any risk of any PSU members coming through B, because they kept Chinese Shrug there. And then once they fully committed, immediate, right off the bat, rotation over to A, and he was what nailed the final bolt in the coffin there. I just love Waterloo's playstyle right now. They're full stacking B right here.
Yeah, full stack B, but what do we do when great? Actually, no, the paint shots get used to try to see anyone's doors, but it doesn't find any connection. PSU Trickster finds the shot, close range phantom is enough. It's 156, and that means 2 down now for Waterloo. They have 1 on site, but that's not the spike, and a little messy here now as it gets a little dicey for Waterloo. They make it 5 on site, but because they weren't able to ever mark it,
and they didn't clear market out properly, that meant that Trickster just got to push out after finding the first kill on Kip, and then just taking down the rest of Waterloo. So Waterloo get a little sloppy with their play there. They don't properly clear out all the possible areas that PSU could be at. So now that, you know, it's kind of even more or less, both teams are going to be able to purchase guns here, most likely, except for Light here, who is going to be probably stuck on a lower cost gun. Chinese Shrug, though, has invested in the Odin twice now. That is 3,200 credits out of your pocket.
It might be his comfort gun, I'll be honest. Oh boy, I think I cursed it again. I'll be honest, I said I love one of these playstyle, and then they fall 4 for 1. So we do see
that just keeps it interesting.
That I know. I might just do some more cursing.
Oh well, don't actually curse on stream. I don't think.
Yeah, I realize I should be more clear. If we would like to keep things more interesting, perhaps I could put myself in favor of one team. Of course, I jest. We do see here a solid angle from I believe, Kip here on mid with the op. And Kia, it sounds like they want Odin of their own.
And here's you taking a little page out of Waterloo's book, playing super safe, turtling on site. And that means that it's going to force the lockdown to be committed from the side of Waterloo. So, gonna see what they're gonna get here though. And I think when committing the lockdown, you have to push on site, right? Like, if you're not gonna take the space that it offers, you know, you have to be very careful here. And, you know, they kind of pay the price for it. They're not, Waterloo is currently not at all coordinated, and that means it's up to Kip on the flank here. He finds one, but
30 seconds left.
Light and Kip in the 2v4.
It's Odin for Odin. There's just lies of smoke in the way.
Oh, no way they let Kip do this here. There's no way they let Kip do this right now. They can't, because that would, you're looking all the way. No. Oh,
Boy,
Light did not see Floppy.
What? You mean one on
Oh, this is not possible, Flarfels. This is not possible. Oh, and I cursed it this time because it is not. Coleslaw shuts down the ace, and that means you tied up again. That was a nail biter. That was honestly way too close.
Yeah, I feel like PSU might have found the trick. If you can stop PSU with an op, just wait for them to go in one by one. Get the machine guns ready for Waterloo and gun them all down while they march on into sight. I believe 3 members were taken out by Odin's there, and that was just such an effective strategy. Waterloo, they're going to be hopefully sure to not let that happen again right now. But that was interesting style. Shit, we're seeing the same thing.
Not fast enough. That's got to be rough for Kip. I mean, pulling out the Blaze Storm, getting instantly one-tapped, that's rough. But, I mean, what was Kip looking for there? I mean, you're pushing through the smoke. You have to expect that there's at least one person there. And he checked one corner, but you don't have eyes in the back of your head. So Kip kind of just gives away that very strong ult and his life for free.
And that was so much of Waterloo's mid pressure gone. Now PSU is able to funnel their resources through this control.
Oh. We're speaking too soon, Flarfels. I mean, all of a sudden, Waterloo picks up 3 kills off the back of Sheriff headshots. Could be 4! Light, you are a monster on that Sheriff today. Actually, all members are, and that means that Spike is going to rotate his way to A. And how did Waterloo come back from this? I mean, if you're PSU right now, this is not good because, again, they got confident, right? They won the last round, they won the last 2 rounds. So they're like, okay, we have the gun advantage. Let's just push and like peek them, and then we'll just take this round, and then, you know, we'll be in a better position. But you don't have to peek. And the moment you peek, you get one tapped, and then one tapped. So then all of a sudden now you're in this 3v1 position, and now you're putting all your pressure on Coleslaw. And there's one wine. They still all only have shares except for Light, who has a Vandal now, but they're all gonna peek at the same time. Beautifully coordinated there from Waterloo. I really like that. They push this one, a recon dart, shock dart, and then peek is 3. And if you're Coleslaw, you better have 3 arms there that can all equally aim as well, because if not, you're gonna go down.
Yeah, and I think we did see a bit of the nerves, or perhaps just I might have been sloppy playmaking from Coleslaw there. The vision dart did not go fully over. Of course, just in that hallway, you're never going to find anybody. They're either going to be in that little cubby area or behind on site. So again, we're just seeing Waterloo have these moment-to-moment advantages, and here it comes. We do have Vex on a Vandal here. It's just another solid 2-1-2 start here from Waterloo, pushing in slowly, but you know they're going to be ready to pull the trigger at any time.
Yeah, the default spread often just kind of gleans you information, but when the enemy just kind of gives you a free peek like that, you take it, right? And I mean, again, the playstyle of turtling went so well for both teams. When they kind of just play site and wait for the enemy to push them, because you're playing double duelist, you have a lot less utility to clear out sites. And
exactly.
PSU has more utility right now. They have the raids to kind of counter these engagements a lot better than Waterloo does. So just play site, but they're looking for aggressive peaks to maybe put pressure on Waterloo to make them antsy. But Waterloo is cool as a cucumber right now, and that is not a figure of speech that I use lightly. I am talking about chilled, frozen cucumbers. They are cool under this pressure, and they got the spike down on this B site, and now they are just looking poised to take another round off here. The paint shells to clear out logs, but no one's hiding there. No one is lumberjacking today. So that means you guys better push together. Not now finds one, but covers there, and oh, Kip feeling a little bit of gamer anger there. They has to let out a bit, and that's 10-8 now for Waterloo.
And the trouble of pushing as one against that smoke, against 3 ultimates from the side of Waterloo, it feels like such a lost cause. But when you have Kip on that high angle, you're never going to be able to get both of them in time. And of course, it's just Waterloo. With these recaptures, I feel like a broken record saying it over and over and over. But they have just perfected their angles and covering each other's backs to ensure that no matter if one man falls, the game will still be won.
And a key part of retaking sites is utility usage too, right? And I definitely think that Light has been a lot more effective with his use of, shock darts, recon bolts, and, as we see here, the Hunter's Fury, it doesn't technically kill Trickster, but actually Trickster will pull out the showstopper, find one, and now that's Waterloo down 2 members. I think we are caster versing a little bit. Vex has popped the Empress, but yeah, retaking a key part of it is so, oh my goodness. I think I should focus more on this round because all of a sudden PSU is pulling up a huge round here. They actually take down all members of Waterloo, only losing 1. And that's Waterloo playing a different playstyle, trying to switch it up a bit, looking for a more spread, pushing up more spread out on the map. And they pay for it. They push up too aggressively. They don't take good peeks. They're not able to trade for one another. And, that just means PSU takes a round. And this game is definitely a lot closer than the first map.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Waterloo is just going right back to the traditional way of playing. They say, okay, didn't work. Now we're just going to have most of our forces stick on B, one person defending the rotations, and another watching the spike on mid. But look, again, the pushes are so aggressive. There's 2 people, but Trickster finds 2.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're Waterloo right now, I'm not entirely sure what you're looking for when you push up mid there. Because again, you're not using any utility to push out Trickster. You're not doing anything to kind of make the peak to your advantage. First Kip peeks, easy headshot for Trickster. And then Vex peeks, another easy headshot for Trickster. Why is there no recon dart there to kind of see how many people you're peeking into? Why is there no shock dart to make the trade more in your favor because the health is down? Both Grim and Kia were looking the wrong way when Grim pushed that in, and because almost like a backs against the wall to each other moment, because they both don't see each other, but it's Kia who kind of wakes up a little faster and actually eventually finds the kill. And Waterloo looking all of a sudden really shaky here. Is again, they try to switch it up, but all of a sudden they went from playing really clean rounds to playing a lot sloppy, right? Again, the key thing, Vex and Kip, this round, just kind of throwing away 2 bodies at once from the start.
Again, they're not respecting, as you mentioned, they're not respecting utility from the side of PSU. The fact that Kip and Vex both charged right down into the barrel of the gun there, it was just the fact that they don't have a lot of tools in their arsenal, let alone in their playstyle, to point out those spots. Yeah, you can charge in with as much confidence as you want, but if someone sees you first, you are going to die. So we're going to have to see. Waterloo looks like they're going to be going for a full stack on B. We know that they can be very confident on their early captures. Hopefully what they want to do is find every angle and cover all their bases rather than walking in one by one like Kip and Vex here.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's just them limit testing, but Vex, it's not like Vex has nothing. Vex has Leer. You have a flash. You can peek together with the flash, and as long as you peek well together, there shouldn't be a way where Trickster finds both of you, unless obviously you switch really hard. But again, Waterloo now committing the lockdown, and usually when they commit 2 ults like that, lockdown Cosmic Divide combo is massive. It is so strong. So now Waterloo gets that post plant again, and throughout this series, they've shown that once they get the post plant, they are basically nigh unstoppable. PSU obviously wants to change that here, but the post plant Astra is just, it's just so strong. And, now another Cosmic Divide comes out from the side of PSU. I do believe Trickster finds one. Knock trades again. Peeks through the smoke. Prim goes down. Knock finds 2. It's all up to Light. Have we seen him clutch it out before? Yes. Can he do it? Knock peeking aggressively. And Kia not there to peek with them. Recon Dart comes out. Has to shoot it. Gets spotted out. Light can just play time here. Playing in the back of Boathouse. The spike has to get defused. Spike gets tapped, but pros don't fake. But then Kia will, and that's okay. No problem there because he goes for the swing and finds it. The time. But he doesn't have it. He's gonna die!
Wow! So close there from the side of PSU. They almost were able to draw it back against Waterloo's 2 ult early capture. well done there. And it was just drop for drop for drop for drop until the 1v1 and Kia ultimately able to take the kill in the end, but the side goes over to Waterloo. But now a lot of those resources are expended and they might have to play a bit more cautiously here. They can't afford to go balls to the wall pushing right up.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not sure who plays that, like, who plays what, but the second one, even though the spike is already down, that Cosmic Divide is more so in the attacker's favor unless it gets comboed with another ult. Because if you block off the map in that way, Waterloo's already on site. Like, they're just holding close by positions on site. It's not like they're holding one way off flank and main. They could be, but they're already holed up on site. So by pushing, like, by having that Cosmic Divide there, if it's the side of Waterloo, you know, good wall, right? Yeah. Like, because that means that PSU has to push through it, and they're gonna have to push through it blind, right? Because they don't know what's behind there, and the sounds are muffled through it. So, but if it's on the side, if it's from the side of PSU, that is a little dicey there, because all of a sudden that means that you have to push through it on your own. And if you had a lockdown, great. But Waterloo kind of flubs the ball a bit by pushing through the Cosmic Divide themselves. They find trades, but it ultimately ends up even, and it gets a little too close, I think, for comfort. It ultimately went down to Light there, who, you know, had to, you know, do the 1v1 against Kia, and ultimately time ran out. But again, Waterloo in the post-plant position. This time it's Bladestorm out for Kip. Misses the first two shots, but Prim has him back there. And actually this time, instead of having everyone on site, it's Shrug who is on the flank, and he actually finds Floppy. Trickster trying his best, but gets taken down in one. Not
With these angles, Kip gets it there. Oh boy.
And now it's
do or die. They don't have a game after this. Oh boy. Yeah, that Cosmic Divide might have been the downfall of PSU there. You wouldn't walk with a shower curtain in front of you heading into oncoming traffic. And yeah, it is match point, game point, series point, everything on the line here. Oh boy, so we do see a standard Waterloo style start. We see PSU going for a 5-point formation, covering all their bases. While it has been effective in the past when Waterloo maybe overplays their hand, actually, alright, maybe it is
be opening it up hugely to Purple Spectre, yeah. And I mean, because the game is so close, that does mean that, like, the guns are relatively even. Vex actually finding kill on Ikea, which is not good because he had popped the Empress there. That, you know, Empress is a great, like, honestly, it's a really good tool for the post plant. It's not good if you're just dry peeking into, like, the main angle, because then you just kind of throw it away, right? And now that Waterloo has control, they run over the site as they have done historically in this series, and now they have the post plant control again. It's the 3-on-2. Now, this is not a 5-on-2, right? So it's not completely over, but a bit of a misplay there. I think if you're going to pop the Empress early, or either pop it reactively or pop it when you know that the enemy is pushing on site, because now Waterloo, they just look poised to take this series. I mean, it would take a miracle for Notnug to take this away. Light.
All right, time to cast a cursing for the entertainment. Notnug, doubters in the chat. Everybody, don't. I'm kidding.
You heard him. They hear him drop.
Oh boy.
That's what gives it away. And you know, Flyfuls, you tried. I mean, I give it to you. You tried to give it to Notnug, and honestly, I would too, because I mean, PSU gave it their all there. I think they definitely tried. They learned a lot from their first game. They took a lot of what went wrong in that first game, and even what went wrong in that first half, and really, you know, carried it forward, worked a lot on it, and they looked a lot stronger in this map too. But ultimately, you know, what worked for Waterloo in the beginning ultimately is what won in this game. It's taking those early peaks that is given to them by PSU, and then getting onto site, clearing anyone that is in their way because they have the man advantage, and then holding good post-plant positions, playing time, and then peaking as a coordinated group. And I mean, honestly, there's not much else to say other than that. I mean, Fluffles, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, Waterloo just better on the day. As final, we do have another word from Blobfish. Not Blobfish. You're
me. I'm right here. I think we're talking Bowser?
Yeah.
Actually, I think I'm getting that in right now here.
Yeah, so I believe Bowser, rather than Cambodia or Marble Slab, he's actually in the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, is that... How are we getting such mixed up information? I think we need better report teams here, because I definitely think that we're not really getting the proper info here. But much like Waterloo tonight, hopefully Bowser is experiencing some smooth sailing, because, you know, we know the Bermuda Triangle, it's a little rocky. But what wasn't rocky was tonight's series. Waterloo, well, maybe a little rocky, a couple pebbles here and there, but ultimately it's Waterloo taking this series 2-0. Congratulations to them. GG well played though to PSU as well. A valiant effort, and hopefully, both teams will able to take this series today and build up on it and come out stronger in the next week. But yeah, GG well played. And actually, before we head off, I do believe, Jack, that you have a delivery, and not just a delivery, a message. Actually, could it be from our sponsor, Deliver?
Well, I think it might be. I do have word over from Bowser. I do have a plain transmission. All he could have said, rather than his coordinates, is that Deliver is a recent startup as a fulfillment company, and they're leveling the playing field between the big box money stores like Amazon or Walmart, and they're also providing fulfillment to the mom and pop stores, and they're always looking for a new on-stream of talent. So they are a company built from a group of Waterloo engineers, and they are always looking for more internships and Waterloo co-ops. So if any of that type of work sounds interesting to you, make sure to go to deliver.com/careers. That's deliver with 2 R's. And we thank them for sponsoring our show, and thank Bowser for
Absolutely. Do you think they could ship Bowser to us?
I think they could fulfill our Bowser needs.
Yeah, I definitely think that we need a lot of that right now, because Bowser, we don't know where he is. I mean, maybe he's just, hopefully he'll be back next week, But honestly, thank you so much, Flarfels, for casting with me today. This has been Blobfish. This has been Flarfels. Thank you, everyone who's tuned in to watch the stream. GG well played to both teams, and we will see you back here next week for some more CF1 Valorant. Catch you later. See you real soon.
I'm Michael Karas. I'm one of the co-founders here at Deliver. Deliver is a fulfillment service for online merchants. So essentially, merchants send inventory into the Deliver warehouse network. We store that inventory on behalf of the merchant, and then when orders come in for the merchant across the various different channels, we pick, pack, and ship those items to the buyer and deliver it on time. Buyers today expect items to be delivered fast and free and on time.
We see a very direct correlation between how fast a merchant is able to get their products to people's doorsteps and how much do they sell. We are ordering more and more things online. We expect them to show up faster and faster on our doorsteps.
I think today, free 2-day shipping is obviously the norm, but I see that going faster to 1-day into same-day shipping. We have an incredible team. They're super curious, amazing problem solvers. They come from a wide variety of backgrounds. Some people come from the technology space, other people come from the logistics space, and it's a really great melting pot of ideas at Deliver.
I like working at Deliver for a whole bunch of reasons. I love the team. I love getting to work with individuals in Toronto and Chicago.
Definitely a lot of work-life balance at Deliver. Everybody really respects the fact that we all have personal lives and, sometimes things happen, doctor's appointments, family things. It's all about communication and making sure that you're keeping everybody in the loop, and as long as you've got the work that you have to get done covered, when you're not going to be around or you're able to do it remotely the same way you would do it if you're in the office, then you're able to do that, and it's an awesome perk. I love being able to work from home when I can.
I would describe Deliver's team culture as ambitious and mutually supportive.
I think one thing that Deliver enjoys is having their employees feel comfortable at work. And if you're stressed and if you're tired, you're not going to be able to produce good work.
It's really easy for me to go talk to people in engineering or to kind of our leadership on the growth team.
One of the problems we're solving is the placement problem, trying to figure out where we should put our items.
You have all these products spread all over the country. Figure out the cheapest way to get these to the final customers to order them. When you don't know where the orders are going to come from, and the orders can come in weird patterns.
And small changes in how we make these decisions results in $1 million savings for the company.
The Deliver model is unique in that we don't own any of the underlying assets. So we've basically assembled an Uber-like network of warehouses where we leverage excess space in these warehouses across the country.
There's a lot of research and development that has to be done to figure out the best algorithms and methods that we should be using for our workflow and for our placement.
Everyone from the CEO down to the most entry-level people, they really want to know what does the data say, and they have a lot of tools to get to that. So we know exactly when a package is going to get from a certain warehouse to a certain zip code, and that's the kind of power that none of our customers ever could do on their own.
As we've launched this Deliver journey, it's been truly rewarding to see businesses do something that they could never do before.
Can't believe Bowser would just send the deliver ad instead of where he actually is.
I mean, priorities, man. I mean, delivery's important. I mean, you saw the ad run, right? Like,
I know, I love deliver, but where it? Wait, bro.
Bowser,
Do you hear it?
like Bowser.
Wait, this is not that's not actually a joke. Do you hear it? Like Bowser? I think I hear him.
Bowser,
Buddy, we're coming for you, man. Bowser, we're coming. Bowser,